Mic is, oh, my mic was off the whole time. Great. Let's do that again. Hey everyone, this is Bryce Atkinson from Video Games HD Remix, and today I'm going to be talking about the behind the scenes of Swamp of Eternal Stench from Space Station Silicon Valley. We'll just get right into it. I'm assuming you guys have had a chance to listen to it. If you didn't, just hear it being played just before the stream here. So I wanted to start off, just to give a little intro, just a little context here. So it took about 3 days to finish, really fast. Usually a remix takes like weeks to do, but this one was really easy to work on, and it was able to bang it out in like a weekend. So that was a lot of fun. This is also the first Space Station remix where I'm using the actual audio musical samples from the game. And I'll give you a little behind the scenes on that as we go through each instrument. So we'll start off by giving a little overview of the instruments that were used in this one. Not quite as busy as the last remix, so that's fun. So let's see. We'll start bottom to top. So we got the drums, we got the bass, we got the Rhodes, which is like a little electric piano. We got our horns, so trombones, baritone sax. We got some saxophones. We got some trumpets, lots of trumpets, tons of trumpets. A pad, which is, you'll see, is almost inaudible. I think that's how you say it. Organ, B3, I think. And we have the main riff. So let's have a listen to the drums first. Here we go. I'll just play the track. Oh, I have to turn the audio back up. 1 second. All right. Drums. Here we go. So these drums were just a simple drum preset, a jazz drum preset. So let's take a look at that real quick. Our handy dandy addictive drums, our jazz kit preset. It's called Premiere Kit No Room. So before, like in the last one, you got a nice kick, snare, toms, which are not used in this track. We got a ride, which I switched out because the main one I wasn't really digging it, and the hi-hat. Also, I switched that one out because it wasn't working for the mix. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I recorded the drums on the actual drum set, the electronic drum set behind me, and I did it part per part. So I did the snare and the kick at the same time. That's I'll just play that for you. I could single that out. So if I do, there's the kick. Oh, and there's the snare. So I did that first. And then I did the ride on its own. And then I did the hi-hat on its own. And then all together, it just pieced itself together. And the nice thing about this track was that I could use a lot of copy paste. I did play it, this chunk here. I played this all the way through. And then this section, I ended up copying and pasting it where it repeats, because in the song it naturally repeats 3 times. So these 3 are their own recordings, and then the rest are copy paste. So really easy to do. Then we have the bass. Let's have a listen. Right. And the bass sub. So this bass sound is a mix of 3 different bass sounds. We have the upright bass, we have the Space Station Silicon Valley bass, and we have an acoustic bass. I can actually single them out. So this is my upright bass. This is the original sound from the game. Oh, no, sorry. This is the original sound. Yeah. And there's my bass sound. This I recorded on the piano. No real bass recorded this time. And then, of course, as usual, I double my bass sound and play around with the sound so I can get the sub. You have to be wearing the headphones to be able to hear this. All right, on to the E piano. So the E piano is the Rhodes. Very simple, nice little staccato piano notes. Yeah, and this is made up of the original as well. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I think that was it. No, it's this one. Yeah, so that's the original sound. This is the added sound. There we go. And this time I decided to do left and right because I just the one wasn't quite doing it, so I had to double it up to make it sound a little bit more full. And to make the sounds pop out on the left and the right, so it didn't sound like it was just coming out the front, I slightly modified the one on the right. I have a different sound on the right. Just one of the two. If we compared to the one up here, I've got Rhodes MK1 and original sound, and this one I have Trem Rhodes and original sound. So that little change, even though I copy pasted the top to the bottom, that little change just makes it so that you have like stereo sound, so it sounds like it's coming out of two speakers rather than just dead in the center. So nice little trick. All right. Next, the organ riff. That classic organ riff, the super catchy one that goes on forever. So here it is here. So you'll notice just by looking at the recording track, you can see a lot of little sections, right? So this is how I actually recorded it. I had it repeat each one of these little sections. I made it loop here, and I was going section by section, trying to pick things out by ear and playing it on the keyboard. And it would just keep looping, and I would eventually just figure it out, and I would get it, and then I would record it on the spot, and then I would move on to the next section. So the playthrough, even though it sounds like it's one flawless playthrough, is not actually a full playthrough. This is a trick that we do in recording. It's very common to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, hey, if I wanted to spend the days learning how to play that solo part perfectly, it would take like 10 times the amount of time to get these remixes out. So just go easy on me. So let's see what else. What other interesting things do I say about this? So there's a lot of organ sounds to get the full sound. So we have the main sound at the top, then doubled, but it's doubled an octave lower to give it extra fullness. And then we have an extra one at the bottom. You gotta listen to that. This is made up of a different organ sound, but underneath it gives it a little extra warmth and again a little bit more fullness. So I had to spend some time playing around with a mix of organ sounds to get the final sound. So Let's take a little closer look at that organ. So I'll go into this one here, organ high. Let's just single that one out so we can hear it clearly. All right, very iconic sound. So we have this one, which is organ B3. So this is part of one of the sounds that's in my kit. This is the original sound. Very high and nasally. And then we have this one just as a little extra. That's panned to the right. So all together. Yeah. Nice, interesting sound. And there was a fine line between using the original organ and the one that's in my system already. Because at first, when I was doing the recording, I had mainly the original one turned up, but it was too annoying with the rest of the mix. It was too like unrealistic, so I had to turn it down. But it is there, and it adds to the original sound. So yeah. What else? We have the horns. All right, we got a lot going on here for the horns. We'll stop looping that section because I don't want to drive you guys insane. Let's take a look at Trumpets Pro. So where I put Pro, that's referring to the Native Instruments plugin that I showed on the last live stream. The one that's the very expensive one. So let's take a look at that one. We got Trumpet Horns Pro. This one here. Let's see what it's made up of. Okay, so we have 2 trumpets and we have a trombone. And I have it set to Smart Voice Split. So if I'm playing 3 notes, it will automatically assign an instrument to a particular note. So I think the way it works is it figures out what the lowest note is, and it'll use the trombone for the lowest note, and then it'll figure out the rest for the other 2. So by doing that, though, I can only have 3-note chords, and I'm pretty sure that's why I ended up doing on that track. So let's just double check that. That's this one. Yeah, so we have 3-note chords. This is probably the trombone. This is the other 2 trumpets. Okay, then we have another Trumpet Pro. What's going on in this? Oh, that's the volume swells. Then we have 3 trumpets. I use this one a lot. This is my custom-made trumpet pack, if you will. I just combined 3 different trumpets into one. So one of the trumpets, this is one of them. There's this one. And then there's this one. Nice and bright. So together, if I play chords, it almost kind of simulates a full trumpet section. So that's how I was able to pull that off. Then we have the original Space Station trumpet. Yeah, very 90s. Okay. All together. Yeah, let's do the trumpets all together. Because everybody likes a nice full horn section. Oh, I missed one. Oh, I missed my favorite one. The baritone sax. I had to throw this one in. Oh, I love that. Here, I'll single that out so you can hear that. I love a good baritone sax. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Full horns. So interesting thing about this, the way I mixed the horns, the baritone sax is panned all the way to the left, and that comes from listening to Mario Kart 8. I used that as reference when trying to do jazz, big band jazz stuff, because, I mean, you guys have heard Mario Kart 8, right? Like, the music in that game is insane. It's so nice. So I noticed by listening to Mario Kart 8 that that's what they do. They put their baritone sax all the way on the left, and they kind of fill the rest of the mix with the trumpets and the trombones, and it's so nice. So nice. All right. So notice I have these things here a couple times around here. These are actually volume automation. So I have these little volume swells. So I wonder if I can show that to you here. Not the best example. Let's try maybe this one. No. We'll do trumpets. Yeah, that's a good one. So listen, it starts loud, goes quiet, and then comes back up. Yeah. So that's just volume automation. I just draw this in. Pretty simple. All right. All right, let's talk about the mix itself. So when mixing this, I start off by doing the drums, figuring out how loud I want the drums to be, and then I figure out the volumes for everything else. So I started with the drums, and then I added the bass, and I had to figure out how loud to make these things, and then as I went along, I would fix the volumes for the rest, and that's how I ended up doing all this, getting it just right. And I mixed with two external speakers, and then I also mix with headphones. Sometimes I listen to it on my phone to hear what it sounds like on there, and I'll make little adjustments as I go. Let's talk a little bit about compression. So for some things, let's say the main riff. We want the main riff to be at the front of the mix. So the trick to that is to use compression. So if I go onto one of these, I should find a compressor. So what this is doing, it's bringing the quiet parts louder and the louder parts quiet, and just flattening it. And what that does is it brings it to the front. It brings it to the front of the mix, so you can hear it nice and clear. So I used a bit of that there. And I probably used it on a couple other things. But yeah, it's a great tool for that. We have reverb. Reverb can do the same thing, or let's see if I can find some reverb here. Just turn the drums off and the bass. So we have a reverb. Just a little bit. So you can use reverb. Let's say you have a mix that's let's say you have a mix that there's everything is like kind of reverby, and you want it to be full, but you want something to stand out. Then whatever that is you want to stand out, turn reverb off, and that'll stand out. And the same for the opposite. If you have a very dry mix and you want something to stand out, put a little bit of reverb on it. And that's what I did on this one. I added just a bit of reverb on the organs. All right. Another little trick that I used this time around, just to clean things up a little bit, was using sends and buses. Oh, the track ended there. Sends and buses. So notice here I have a horns bus and one volume knob. So what I did is I sent all of these individual tracks to this one track, and I can control the volume of all of these things. So that's what's sending. So send and then the bus. So just imagine these as being little people taking the bus, and this is the main bus. And whenever you move the bus, the rest of the people move too. So I'll give you an example. If I single that out, I have all of this singled, and I can turn everything down, everything up. Back. There we go. One more thing that I did with the mix to get it just right, I do the car test. So I take my mix, I go in my car, and I listen to it on my car speakers. And I do that because I have like the best reference, because I listen to music out of my car all the time, radio or off my phone, like Spotify. So if I hear my mix out of my car speakers and something sounds funny, well, that tells me that there's something not working with the mix. So I did that for this, and it pretty much passed right off the bat. The only thing I had to change was just the bass. There was like a little, I found it wasn't loud enough, the high part of the bass. So I just cranked it a little bit, and then that's all I had to do. So it's nice when that happens. But other times, like I think the Metroid one that I did, I had to do a couple of tests like that, back and forth, and just tweak things here and there. But the car test is really good. I didn't come up with that. I actually found out about that from watching the Foo Fighters documentary. I think it's the back and forth one, if I'm not mistaken. Where Dave Grohl does exactly that. He goes into his crappy car, and he's got crappy car speakers, and he listens to his mix. And if he says, if it sounds good on that, it's going to sound good on anything. So, yeah, we're going to keep this one short and sweet, because this was actually a short and sweet kind of song, and I don't want to spend too much time going through these. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I ran into one major problem with this one, which kind of set me back a little bit. As I was copying and pasting things around, I accidentally copied the main riff into the second section, and I ended up having to re-record that second section. I didn't realize until I was listening to it. I think it was in the shower or something, and it popped up, and I was like, wait a minute. That second section sounds exactly the same as the first section. So I had to go and check it. And when you know it, I accidentally copied and pasted into it. So I had to re-record it. It took me a lot less time because I had already figured out most of this stuff anyway. But yeah, just a bit of an annoying thing when I was pretty much ready to put it out. But yeah, that's the mix. That's the song. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really easy to work on. I didn't have too many parts to record. I could use a lot of copy paste on this, and that goes the same for a lot of the Space Station songs. Like, they're very repetitive in the sense that it's the drums, the bass, and like little extra bits that are just recorded once and copied and pasted all the way through. And I love it. It's so easy to do. And the jazz drums, this is the first time I've used this particular set of jazz drums on a Space Station song, and I really liked it. I think it really suited the jazz, like quirky jazz kind of stuff, and it was nice. I just had to do the one preset, and it was good to go. So not too much changes there. And I just wanted to talk about the next space station song that I want to do. There's not many left, honestly. At this point I'm probably gonna end up doing all of them. There's a couple that I'm a little scared of, and I'll talk about those in a sec. But the next one I'm probably gonna do is the give a dog a bonus. I wish I had the clip available. I should have grabbed the clip, but if you guys know which one it is, then get hyped. It's a fun one. But there's two that I'm actually really worried about. It's Jungle Jumps, which is basically just a long solo. Like it's a fast, long solo, kind of like this one, but it's worse because it just go. It's all over the place. I'm gonna have to record it exactly like this one, bit by bit. But yeah, that one I'm worried about. I can get it done, but I'm probably gonna be swearing under my breath as I'm recording the whole thing. And then Rat-O-Matic is, I know I've gotten a couple of requests, and that song, it's easy. Like it's easy to record. It's just it's it's not my favorite. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it's been quite a journey recording these songs. I can't believe I've done as many as I've done so far, and there's not that many left. So I hope you guys stick around even after I'm done, because I'm still going to make more of these, just from another game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. And if you have any questions, comments, make sure to leave them in the section below. You can message me anytime. If you have any ideas for any other songs, or you want me to do some music for you, I'm more than happy to set something up. So yeah, thanks for listening, and